revenue should be close to 100 million euro. I like to go shopping,
You have 30 companies or how many?
Close to 40.
Today on the show, I have an entrepreneur from Lithuania. His name is Deividas Jacka, and he's the chairman of the board of Civinity Group.
So the most important thing is not to burn the money.
And we're gonna talk about how to build a business like that, what is his story, how he got into the business, all that good stuff which you want to not miss out.
That's why in each sector and in each new country, you should have strategic, trustable, reliable partner. Because
Good day, Deividas.
Labdien.
Oh, my man. So what is your business? What is the name of the business and what does the business do?
My business, Civinity business, is to create value to the citizens who lives in the cities. So we're providing facility services.
Okay.
Our business consists from 4 different business lines. One business line is Civinity Engineering. We're designing and implementing all engineering systems in buildings.
Okay.
So another business line is facility services for commercial sector, like we do maintenance for business centers, factories, etc.
Okay.
A third business line is we do facility services for residential economy and premium class, like you have in Riga, Rigas namų parloneks. So upside cautious.
Okay. And the business is how much top line does it generate per year?
This year forecast revenue should be close to 100 million euro. EBITDA close to 10 million euro. And 1,650 employees. In Latvia, revenue is 25 million, 550 employees. We paying taxes 6 million each year for Latvian government. And since the beginning, from 2014, we invested in Latvia more than 24 million euros. So,
and your headquarters in Lithuania, right?
Yes.
And Latvia is like a big market for you, I can imagine.
Quite big, yeah.
Very interesting.
We're operating in 3 countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and United Kingdom.
Not Estonia, but United Kingdom. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Why United Kingdom?
Because our strategy to go after client. So we won a tender with Civinity Engineering. So we implementing engineering systems in London city center for daughter company of IKEA, Vastint. So we quite big developer in UK.
How many years ago did you start this company?
I am acquisition guy. So I acquired Civinity Engineering in 2018. And when we acquired 2018, the revenue was 6 million of the company and EBITDA was 200K. And so the company growing very rapidly. So now we reached 30 million revenue and 3 million EBITDA, so 7 times.
So you started with this kind of one branch, which was this engineering part.
Yes.
So the question is, Deividas, how do you take a company from 6 million to 100 million? Like, what's the secret?
It's just one business line. So I started business in 23 years old. So the Civinity revenue in 2005 was 200K.
So let me understand. In 2005, you started the company?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. So from 2005, 20 years, 100 million.
Yes.
How do you do it? What's the secret? What do you need to do it?
Just I like to go shopping, always looking for new opportunities and just acquiring companies and always thinking what will be after 5-10 years, how a market will change, how a business will change, and etc. And I think the most important part for me to involve and to collect the best people in industry, because one in the field will do nothing. So that's why we have a very strong team. And for example, since, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, we changed a bit of our strategy. So we are not acquiring 100% businesses. We are keeping for existing shareholders or management some shares, because we strongly believe that we should motivate them, that they should work for themselves, not like what we're saying to do for them.
So, but how do you do it? Like, you start one business, you grow that business to, I guess, how big was your first business when you started to acquire different companies?
So let's start like when I was, I don't know, 12, 13 years old, when I was teenager. After school, I was driving with waste collecting truck and helping to collect the waste. And first salary I got from that. Afterwards, I was living like in Palanga, like you have Jurmala in Latvia.
I know Palanga, I've many times been there.
Yeah, so, and I was doing like everything, I was working waiter, I was renting bicycles, I was selling those all hot dogs, beer in this year. So all one-stop shop for all services what you could get on street food in Palanga. And like after when I was like 20 plus, I started to work with real estate, and like that. And I always was reading different books, looking for some new materials, how I can do business. I was focused on creating something.
Where did the strategy come from? Not just growing one company, but then you having this focus to look for other businesses. How did that happen, or what was the idea behind that?
It was a very interesting story. I was traveling with my brother from Vilnius to Klaipėda, and we stopped to refuel near Kaunas in gas station. And one older guy came and asked, "Can you guys drop me to the Klaipėda?" And we said, "Yes, why not?" And after when we reached Klaipėda, that man gave the business card, and he was like a serious guy from Klaipėda municipality. And he said, thank you very much. And if you need something, I don't know, question, you do not hesitate, just ask, and I can help what you need. And so he gave me, I invited him to a lunch, and he gave me advice for a lifetime. So like he said, you should acquire facility services, residential facility services companies, because it's the best business. Like you can, everybody will need that. And I got that. I started to collect the data, information. And in 2005, when I was 23 years old, I, with my partner, acquired first company in Klaipėda. And since that, Civinity story started. And afterwards, I had another friend. He was like a local, quite famous businessman. And I made a call to him, said, "Oh, I acquired a facility services company. What do you think?" And he said, "Look, if you have one company, it will be shit, like bullshit, nothing. But if you try to consolidate, maybe it could get some good benefits." So I also noted that advice and started to collect the data and how we can consolidate those companies, and like that.
Walk me through, how did you kind of get the first acquisition? Did you have your own money? Did you borrow money? How did you kind of do the deal?
Very interesting that you always, for example, and the same, now we're acting and closing the deals in Civinity. So first of all, we're finding a target. The same was like with Vitas Valdos, the name of the first company in Klaipėda. So like the Klaipėda municipality was selling the shares of the company. The price was 1,200,000 litas.
For
like,
the whole company?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like 350k euros. And the first deposit was to participate in the tender, 30k euros.
Just to participate?
Yes, just to participate. So we paid that 30k. Afterwards, we won a tender. And the most interesting part was to collect the money.
How did you do it? Like,
So
what happened?
I had my business. I was working with real estate. So I sold some land plots and just I had to collect 50% because another 50% was my partner from real estate.
So you needed basically to collect approximately 150k?
Yes, exactly.
And so you got it basically selling some land and then you got the money?
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. But then, for me, the fascinating thing is typically when you do something like that, you become the owner and you have all of the issues, which are managing people, finding customers, I guess scaling talent, putting somebody maybe in charge. And then for you, it seems like, just buy a company and just like, find somebody who does it and then just buy a next company. Yeah. Like, how do you do that? That seems to be super hard.
I can explain this very funny story, when we came to the CEO of the company, which that company, Vitas Valdos, belonged to the municipality. And
it was a government-owned company, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we asked the CEO, where is the money? How are you doing business? And he said, there is no any business. We're just helping people to maintain the buildings. And we had discussion with our lawyers. So we signed some letter to all subcontractors that we want to negotiate, and we don't want to prolong all the contracts with them. And I left my business card, so the phone was ringing all the day, and everybody wanted to meet with us, to have a meeting. So we just changed the policy, transparency, and the company in half a year became profitable. So we had to change.
What did you change? Like increase price? What
not the price. We just increase transparency.
What do you mean?
I mean that how to say, not all companies was working transparency.
No, okay. So maybe some shady stuff going on, not everything by the books, as I understand.
Yes.
But then how do you get at the other companies? Like, where do you spend your time on? Like, how did that work and focus? Is it so cash flow easy? Does customers pay? Some people manage it. And then how do you have the time to acquire a different company? That seems fascinating for me because I have one company and I do this podcast, and it seems insanely hard to manage something and then get something else and buy something. Seems crazy.
I don't know. For me, it's happening like multitasking. So, for example, you can in parallel do many different stuff. So that's why you need very strong team to collect the strong team. And for example, when you have one company, you can run that company very easily. But for example, when you have group of companies, you have to have in your team trust people whom you can trust. And otherwise, it's impossible to do big business without a very good team.
So, how do you incentivize them? Like, what do you give them shares? How do you make sure they are aligned with the business? Because if you don't maybe check them regularly, how do you know if they're hardworking, doing everything, the best?
I checking background, what is experience, education, and mentality also, what is their values.
What do you look for? Like, what have you found that is great to for let's say a CEO of a company?
Oh, I can share some, for example, businesses what we have. So we have Civinity engineering. The CEO of the company is 12 years in the business. So with this person, Civinity engineering grows 7 times. We have very strong management board. So in Civinity AB, we have like Dovilė Grigienė. She now is chairman of supervisory board of Revolut. Before that, she was working as CEO and chairman of a board of Swedbank.
Okay.
Another Diana Dominienė, she was 17 years working in Maxima in different various positions. We have like Šarūnas Stanislavėnas. He was 7 years in one bill. Also, he was working in Girteka. So he is like more tech guy. And we have Giedrė Vilkė. She was Pigų 10 years different positions. So she is very strong in marketing and also from tech perspective.
You use some headhunters to kind of get interviews with them?
I am a personal headhunter.
Yourself?
Yes.
How do you do it?
Through LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
How many
95% from LinkedIn, and like I having always many meetings, and when I texting directly through LinkedIn, and for example, I succeed maybe just 50%, but another 50% people who coming to the meeting, we saying when co-founder and shareholder texting to me, I will be foolish if I will not arrange a meeting and will not come to meet you. So I like to negotiate with people. It's my like one of hobbies.
Interesting. But it's still fascinating for me to kind of manage them. And then what's your kind of position right now? How do you kind of oversee the companies? I think you have 30 companies, or how many?
Close to 40.
Close to 40.
Close to 40, yeah.
And how do you oversee them, and how many of them you kill every year? Because not all of them survive, or they're all like surviving and making money and growing? Or what's the reality behind it?
Civinity Group, it's not startup company.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is not to burn the money.
Okay.
So all companies in the group should work profitably.
Okay.
So those companies who having issues, so those companies getting more focus and more attention from the board and from me. And we trying together with the team to help how we can fix the problems, how we can fix the issues. And that's it. So on daily basis operations, each week, like on Wednesday, we have weekly meetings, Latvia and Lithuania, all the team, reporting what happened what happened last week. So we have our company measures, how we measure the KPIs.
What are the main KPIs you would recommend to measure everybody who's starting, growing a company? What would be those kind of KPIs, let's say like 5 to 10?
Revenue, profit, feedback of the clients, market share.
How do you measure that specifically?
We doing we sending questions and getting feedbacks. So we from customer supports also, yes, how many calls we getting and why people calling, what issues we solving, etc. So everything is about the data. So when you collect the right data, you can measure your all daily tasks and activities.
Interesting. All the businesses kind of like the facility service companies, right? In that kind of space, or not?
I know we have 4 different business
like
lines.
you told me. Yeah.
Yes,
That's just one of them.
construction.
Yeah.
Construction, it means Civinity engineering.
Yeah.
So like Civinity engineering in Lithuania is number 1 company in their industry.
In that space.
Yes.
If you would right now lose your business,
Yes.
you don't have the business.
Yes.
What kind of business would you start and why? Where do you see opportunities right now in 2025, 2026?
AI is booming. So in Lithuania, we have startup Nexus AI. So we just raised 30 mil, and the evaluation of the company is $400 million.
How fast was that?
So the company just 1 year.
Imagine that, no?
Yeah.
The times have changed.
Yeah, so
it's not like
yes,
like 20 years. Doesn't take
yes.
20 years. It takes like maybe one summer. We can do it.
And 1 week ago, we had a presentation to our Latvian team from Nexus AI. So we had a lunch with CEO and had a discussion about AI, how AI is booming, and like on one meeting with their investors, the investors' main question was just burn the money and burn it fast. You guys need to burn fast.
But what would you start? What would you start right now? Like, let's say you have your experience, of course, but your business is no more here. Like, what kind of business would you start? If your goal was to build a company that does 10, 100 million revenue, what would you do?
I will do the same. I will do the same.
The same?
I will do the same. I mean, through acquisitions. For me, it could be quite difficult just to go and find like some work. So I will try to find a room where I can find to buy some companies. But also, I think AI industry it's very.
Isn't it super competitive in terms of like, you know, there's the smartest people working on that, you know, it's going to be...
Yes. I think first step, I will take a break. Like, I don't know, 1 month or couple months, change location, try to go to... Because the same happened with me, like when I was living in Klaipėda and started business in Klaipėda in 2010, I moved to Vilnius. And for example, before that, when we were going to Vilnius for a couple of days on business meetings, after half of a day, I had a headache. And for me, it's like a huge city. The same was happening when I was visiting in Riga. When you come to Riga, the city is very big, you know, people, business, everything. But I had the opportunity. I am very open-minded. So like since 2012, I was living in Moscow for years. So in Megapolis. So when you came first time to Moscow, Moscow is huge. So, and after like I was living since 2016, maybe 3 years in Riga and Jurmala. So it's like hometown, you know. It's everything you can get in 5 minutes.
It's super close.
5 to
Riga
10.
also, I think, is super small compared to like Moscow or London or those big cities.
So that's why I think it's very important to change location.
Right.
To go, I don't know, to US, to New York, and just like this.
Where do you get the drive? You think you're a driven person? How would you describe yourself?
I have like 3 main rules. What I saying? For me, no means yes. Impossible means possible, and as much harder, more interesting.
That's a good one.
And like, you know, how to say, when I was in 12th grade at school, we had to write 5 years plan. And everybody was writing 5 years plan. I done the same. And like I have written that after 5 years, I will have many businesses, like etc., etc. And afterwards, each person should read it loudly, what you have written.
After the 5 years?
No.
Right. Okay,
in the
when
class.
you do it. Okay.
Yeah. And I was reading loudly, and everybody in the class was laughing. He is dreamer, you know, dream guy. And after 5 years, when we had a class meeting, the teacher brought those letters. And second time, we had to read it loudly. So when I read it loudly, nobody was laughing because what was written, everything was done.
Oh.
So,
but at that time, you had one company or two, or because you were probably 23, right?
Yeah, so I had many, I think 5 or
already.
something. Yes.
Like, where did you took the energy or the money to kind of like acquire them once you have acquired them?
I can say
how do you do that?
I can share some examples how I done with
Share
real
it,
estate.
please. This is really interesting because maybe other people look at it and they're like, I'm also in this local business. Let's say I do morgues. Like if people die, I take care of them and I want locations. I need locations. So what
I was hyperactive in school, so like, but in first class, I was kicked out of the school because I was very, very hyperactive, and when I was graduated at 12th class, also my grades was not so perfect. So I moved to Šiauliai, quite close to Riga, and like one of the worstest universities, and like Šiaulių universitetas. And I was sitting and thinking, this is my way, or I have to change something in my life. And I started to write down my life plan, where I want to be after 3, after 5 years. And I decided to move to Klaipėda, to switch to Klaipėda University. And it happened just from third time. For me, it was quite difficult to do.
That you were not allowed, or because of the grades, or why?
Because of the grades, because of other conditions. But when I moved to Klaipėda, I started to read many different books about like Richard Branson, like all businesses, etc., etc. And I met one guy who was working in real estate industry. And we started to look for some land plots. And like one day we came, we found very nice land plot near the seaside. And like I had couple, maybe 20,000 liters. And I was like 6 months riding and visiting the owners of that land plot. And long story short, we bought a land and earned like 150,000 euro, but just having 20,000 euro.
Because you bought it cheap and then sold it? Or what do you mean earned?
Yeah, we not bought. We like paid, how to say, we reserved the land plot, and another people came and paid more. So without money, we made...
it was like 5x more or like 6x more.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
How did you found that opportunity? We were looking for like some underappreciated...
You sitting in the car and driving, looking.
And that's why.
Yes.
You didn't... it was not listed, right?
No,
The land
exactly.
was not listed.
No.
It wasn't listed,
No,
right?
no.
Interesting. And that's how you got your first capital to kind of do the first acquisition.
Yeah. Another like example was like quite big deal. So we found 16 hectares, quite big land plot, and the price was like asking 1 million liters, 300K, and like the owner of that land plot saying, because we are very young, he said, "My son, I want 1 million liters for this land." I said, "My grandfather, I have 50,000 K liters. This is your." I don't taking this so much money with me, but 50K I can pay for you. And his answer was like, "Oh, you are young but serious." So in 6 months we changed the permit from like working land to residential, and it was like the evaluation 16x. So the evaluation of that land plot was 16 million liters, and we made many deals like this. And
interesting.
Yes.
Is it working still nowadays?
No,
or is it
no,
just like it was a past thing?
Yeah, it was past. Like there are times, crypto times, sun, electricity times, so real estate bubble. So I think each decade has different. Now is AI. Everybody is talking, investing in AI. Like, for example, that Lithuanian company would be in US that cost like couple billions, not 400 millions. So it's like big bubble.
From you, Deividas, I kind of seem to get the vibe that you are very financially smart. Maybe what are some principles you have for yourself regarding managing your own personal money that have served you well?
You have to spend less when you earn. And from my perspective, from my opinion, the most important thing is to have good health, to earn some, to have good food, and everything else you have to reinvest. I think this I am doing like this.
So health, good food, spend less than you make, and
Yes.
reinvest. Where do you reinvest in yourself? You mean?
No. I'm of course very important how you're feeling. So your mental health. So like what is your daily routine? So I always saying like new day. Everything starts from scratch. It's no matter what you done yesterday. Yes, today it's new day, and like I have 4 sisters, 1 brother. And with younger sisters, we having like discussions. Oh, Deividas, you acquired this kind of business. Let's celebrate, etc. My answer is like, yesterday we celebrate, but today we have to work very hard. And each day you have to work very hard, always 24/7, 365. And I don't believe like when you going on holidays, on vacation, that some people can switch off their mobile phones. So I'm always online and always, on track. I don't understand the people who like say, oh, this is weekend, and my secretary when goes to the toilet, she should take a mobile phone with her. Sorry, but
She's doing that, or she should do that?
she should.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah, so
But this has been your mentality to the whole time, or has it changed? Kind of this like, it seems to be like hustle mentality 24/7. Is it always been like this, or is it just,
I think it's a taste of good, how to say, the taste of blood. When you're doing and you succeed, like you want more. It's like adrenaline, and you can't stop. And this is not about the money. This is about doing business to prove to yourself, first of all. This is the mentality, I think. But if we look more from different perspective, my opinion is what is social responsibility? So a social responsibility from Civinity, it's not like making money to do like just business. Civinity is city lifestyle company, and the most important thing for us to create a value to our customers. We providing services from people to people. People who are living in our houses, who are working in offices, etc., etc. So the name of Civinity consists from 2 words: win, the city, and the final is Civinity. And for me, Civinity is happy people who lives in the cities. So maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we changed Civinity strategy, and we focused from facility services to smart green city ecosystem. And everything what is consists in smart green city ecosystem, we investing in this kind of businesses. So that's why 1 year ago we invested in Latvian-based company Mobily, because we want to scale the services to other countries. First of all, to Vilnius and other cities and other countries. Another thing like couple years ago, we invested in a company named Valandinis. It's like now we will do rebranding to Master A. What that company doing? That company working in sharing economy. It means like we have contracts in Lithuania with all biggest construction companies, and those companies, if we don't want to have more employees, we just renting the workforce from Valandinis. Like we need, I don't know, 30, 50 people. We just renting for 3 years, for 3 days or 5 days that workforce. So what I want to mention that everything about the data. So if you have data about workforce, you can sell workforce. If you have the data about the buildings and the right, very precise data, you can sell that data. Because also another social responsibility from Civinity perspective is senior care. Because 40% in from our customers is older people. So we planning to invest in development senior care housing. So we planning to build from 5 to 10 senior care houses in the Baltics.
I think an interesting thing, you are another entrepreneur from Lithuania, I'm from Latvia, and an interesting thing that I have seen is, Latvians sometimes complain that, hey, our market is small, we need to expand. Lithuania, I believe, is approximately maybe 2 times bigger economy than Latvia. But what is your approach to expanding? And you have a service business. This is not like online, SaaS, e-commerce, service business. Like, what's your strategy, or what principles or ideas could you share, could be valuable to, let's say, other local business owners, have services that want to expand? Like, what would be those?
Very simple example, like doing elevator maintenance services companies. For example, like we have very close Nordics, Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And also a very good example from Latvian companies, like construction companies, who is UPB.
Know the company?
They doing business in Scandinavia.
Yeah, they're doing Scandinavian business.
So my advice is the most expensive what you have, it's your time. So you can do the same work or the same business in Latvia, but if you scale that business like to Sweden, Norway, you can get for the same services, for the same business, much higher evaluation and much higher price for the works, for the employees, for the services, etc. So you can like send people to work where you can send and you can sell your knowledge and experience, where you can get more money than in Latvia, Lithuania, or Estonia. So the biggest examples are Printful from your country, from my country, NordVPN.
But those are tech companies. No, like
yes,
China.
yes. But I mean, how to say? Also, classical business you can expand, like from Lithuania, those. Euroapteka, we acquired in Scandinavia business. So you can scale also. You can send workforce to work there.
Yeah, that I think everybody can understand. Because if you have a local company, you could sell your services to maybe countries which are more kind of richer, and that they could pay you more, and you could do it. But how do you get the customers? Maybe what is specifically for you in the B2B? Because I can imagine the customers are big companies. Like, what's your approach to get new customers? Do you do something special, something interesting? How do you get them? Maybe some how do you do it?
Very difficult. I can share experience like how we came to UK. So in UK we signed first contract in 2019.
How big, by the way, are those contracts and how long? It's just interesting for me to know.
Approximately for 3 years
3-year contracts?
and 15 million euro.
Contracts.
Yeah, one contract.
And for what? What is it? For what?
For designing and implementing engineering systems. It
Okay.
means air conditioner, ventilation, and heating.
For a facility or a rental or commercial?
Yeah, for commercial.
Interesting.
Commercial
Okay,
buildings.
so that's one. I think big deals because
Yes,
those
exactly.
are big deals.
Yes.
And how do you get those deals? What's the
We're
approach?
going after client. So, for example, we have client Westend. We're working with him, with that client 10 years. And so, for example, with that client, we made maybe 3 quite big projects in Lithuania. After we made one, we completed one project in Germany with them, in Scandinavia, in Denmark. And afterwards, we invited us in tender in UK. And another, we will sign quite big deal in UK. But for example, we tried to find more customers from like local market in London. In UK, it's very, very difficult because we don't trust you, we don't believe you, and each local market has local specifics.
Right. Yeah.
And I can share what I know, because what I don't know, I will not try to bullshitting, So my group main strategy is to look for acquisitions. At the moment, we have 15 different targets, maybe from 7 to 10 different countries, and those targets in different negotiations. So I think this year we will sign maybe 2 or 3 deals in acquisitions. So we're looking for Scandinavia. We have some targets like in Finland, Sweden, Poland, and other countries. So, and what is the specific? If you don't know exactly the new markets, you have to find strategic partners in those markets. And after acquisition, that's why we don't want to acquire 100%. We are acquiring maybe 70. The minimum barrier is 51% because we have to control majority to consolidate finances, etc. And that's the main strategy.
Interesting.
And
you use bank financing to do it, or just your own money?
We're using different, we're using bridge financing, we're issuing the bonds. So this summer we confirmed 50 million bond issue prospectus. So, and when I started business, I doing the same. For example, we will find a company, the price 100 mil. We sign a deal, and after we collect the money. And Civinity main goal is till 2030 to reach 1 billion evaluation. So it means just we have to do 10 times X.
I think this approach also applies to everybody who needs to get. I talk to many entrepreneurs every day, and some of them also think I need to have the service ready and then I will get a customer. I think this approach for buying a business is similar to getting a customer. You need to find the customer, sell the customer, and then you figure out how to maybe deliver it if you don't have the capacity yet to deliver it, to get the contract or get the signing.
Yeah.
How do you price these things? I'm curious. How do you come up with the pricing? You what's the mathematics or for a service business? Because I think at the end of the day, there's equipment and then there's manpower, man hours.
Very easy answer. It's revenue of a company, contracts, what profitability generates the companies, and after acquisition, what synergies you can get to connecting with a group of companies, and not just revenue, profit, contracts, how long we have those contracts.
In your experience in this kind of B2B, this kind of space, contracts always are 100% done, or there are many times where people cancel the contracts, they switch service providers. How does it happen in this kind of?
Yeah, it's how to say, some contracts changing from different perspective. I think it's the business consists from different risks. So that's why in each sector and in each new country, you should have strategic, trustable, reliable partner. Because when you don't know market specific, you can do many mistakes.
Yeah.
So,
And when you say partner, he has to own also the company?
Of course.
How much, what's kind of the
It
sweet spot?
depends, I think, 30%
Yeah.
or not less. But also, what is very important, you have passive shareholder or you have active shareholder. For example, we have some cases where we acquiring 75% and leaving for the locals 25%. But my main condition is that 5% from our perspective, we will leave to the active management who is involved daily basis operation, and the same locals should give 5% as a motivation to actively each day working in daily operations. Because if you have just passive shareholders, locals, so we will not be responsible for profit and for daily basis operations.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah. Have you killed also those businesses, like shut down? You acquired somebody and it's like not working?
Yeah, I business, when you're doing many different businesses, sometimes some businesses is not.
What is the main reason for these businesses to fail?
Different scalability. So like we 2 years ago invested in one startup company. It's like she also was acting in sharing economy. Mm-hmm. But this is very difficult business for Lithuania, Latvia, very, very, very small market penetration. It means like that company, that business was providing services like you can order in your house like plumber or like different that services. So, for example, you buy washing machine and you need to bring to your home and connect. So it means you need that service once per year or 2 times per year. So what is population? So that's why that we burn maybe 500K and just closed that business line.
I before you came, I was doing some research. Mm-hmm. And an interesting fact we found out that I'm not 100% sure it's accurate, but there's a fact that McDonald's has these ice cream machines which are on purpose have some flaws where they always get repaired, and there are some companies that has a contract with McDonald's that only this company can repair them. And there's something like this. Do you know this situation? Have you heard about it?
We are not a client of McDonald's, so I cannot...
But the thing was super interesting that there are things where it is on purposely done. So these franchises are paying money to these subcontractors who can only repair this ice cream machine because it's the only place they can go and do it. I thought it was super interesting. Are there any examples like this also in other spaces? Maybe it comes to mind.
Yes, I think we maybe 2 years ago acquired a company in Latvia, Ionica Service. So we doing installation BMS. It's like a smart building solution. So we in business 20 years old, and like we have contracts with special providers, and just them can provide those kind of services. So we have some special conditions. And
if you would have some friends who are maybe living in a bubble, that let's say they want to build a bigger company to do more good for the society and etc., but they're living in this bubble where they're stuck at, let's say, $1 million a year. Because in Latvia, statistics are interesting that 1 in 12 companies reach 1 million turnaround per year, and 1 in 90 companies reach 10 million turnaround per year. So what would be your advice to kind of step out of your bubble to maybe, what would you say to those people who are maybe 10 years working on a business and it still does less than $1 million a year, but they have this want that I want to do it. I want to have this bigger business.
How I do?
What would you say to them? So let's say they come to you.
It depends in which industry.
Let's say they're B2B. Let's say they're B2B.
Yeah, but B2B different businesses. So
Let's
very
try
important
to do
thing
service business. Let's do service business.
Yeah, but
majority.
you're doing market research.
Okay.
And you finding out in which place you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to measure the data.
Okay.
With your competitors. What is your revenue? What is your margin? What is your market capacity? So 10%, 15%.
So basically to check out how big is your market, which you're currently at. So you can, and maybe look at the biggest players in the market and see how much money they're making.
Yes.
So you can think about, okay, how potential is this opportunity? Okay.
And you should think how to buy them.
And then you should figure out how to buy them.
Yeah, exactly. Because in each market you have to be number one or minimum one of fifth company, third place, fifth place, and that's it. And you don't have to ask how I should do it. So maybe sometimes easier to buy or to merge the companies. So it's
what would your advice on merging? How do you kind of do? How would you say? Let's say a marketing agency. Let's say there's 2 marketing agency. Let's say you have a marketing agency that does $1 million a year in Latvian market. Biggest maybe agency does 5 million, 4 million. You're looking for,
You have to put everything on the table.
Everything on the table.
Yes. What is what is your clients? Or what is margin of the clients? And what synergies you can get.
Okay.
I always selling with new targets that 1 + 1 we should get at least 4 or minimum 3, and that's it. And if you get those synergies, you can do the business together. And it's from my perspective, everything is about negotiations. And if you sit in your business and just will be running your own business, it's not working like this. You have to be very open-minded. You have to look new opportunities always, and to find each day you have to meet new people and to negotiate, and always trying like with Lego, and you're collecting. So you can from one Lego you can collect cars, buildings, etc. So the same is happening from my perspective with the mines. You have to think what you can do better, and what you can do better together with your competitor. And sometimes the main competitor can become your partner and the best friend.
Interesting, very interesting. What rules or ideas you have for negotiation for us to do better negotiation?
Always you should have to prepare for the meeting. You have to collect the information about the person with whom you meet, what his hobbies, how his business doing. You have to be interesting in conversation. And on the first meeting, you never should ask what you want. Because
you should never ask what you want.
Of course.
To the other person, yeah?
Of course.
Why not?
Well, because you're coming with a purpose, you need something to yourself. But for example, if you're coming to the person and you're solving issue, what issue is having that person, you're becoming a friend.
Okay.
Because I think it's very important, not first of all to ask, my opinion.
You're the first one who says the price, or you let them say the price? I know many people do the anchoring, negotiation. So I'll give you 10% of my company, you give me 90% of your company. That's the first anchor.
Yesterday I had very interesting negotiations with people who are running business for 20 years. And the price is the last thing. If people doing business and doing what we love, it's not about the price. It's about a purpose. It's about what we want to do after 5 years, how we love that business. You speak about the values, business, how you can add value to all that merge. When you merge businesses or you doing business together, and like if you just from the very beginning start, what a price you want. If yesterday I told that, the meeting will be end in 5 minutes and there will be no room for discussion. So always you have to let people speak, to feel the energy. And just in the very, very end, you can, when you find out what is the mindset, what is the strategy, what we want, and just in the very end, you can discuss about how we can do together some good stuff.
Interesting. Maybe the last kind of quick parts, which would be interesting. Maybe what are some of the books you would recommend entrepreneurs to read? What have been useful to you?
5 a.m. Club. It's a very important thing, your personal health. So if you in very good shape, afterwards everything is very, very good. Ray Dalio Principles, also very good book.
Did you have some mentors, or you have bought some coaching, went to coaching, or that's nothing like that?
I always reading different books.
Mm-hmm.
I listening audiobooks when I jogging every morning.
Which app you use?
I use Lithuanian, like
You have your own?
not my own, but in Lithuania we have like Audioteca LT.
Okay.
So also Spotify.
Yeah, I use Audible. Yeah, but that's like Amazon company.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also about the mentors. So for me, quite impressive Elon Musk, and we have from Lithuania also some businessmen. So Gediminas always inspiring me. I saw that he was
yes, here also
in your podcast, and he has a totally global mindset. So he is focused, like he put on the table the globe and looking how to conquer the world, not just like Baltics, Nordics, and so.
Yeah, that's interesting perspective, right? To think more bigger, broader.
And also what I want to mention, like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, we are braliukas. And we should not compete with each other. We should think how to create value to each other. And like, for example, when I first time came to Riga, I felt in love with the city. The buildings is amazing. The architecture is like, wow. But my heart belongs to Vilnius. But for example, like you have Jūrmala, you have water in Riga. So for example, from Jūrmala, you can travel by boat to Riga. You have many nice restaurants.
Yeah.
And like you have Air Baltic, and that Air Baltic creates value to Lithuania and Latvia, because we have direct connections. I think 6 flights per day from Vilnius to Riga. Yeah, so I am very proud that I can use, and I'm very grateful that I can use Air Baltic for traveling. So, Latvia burning a bit money, but to be honest, we're creating very big value to Lithuanians and Estonians.
One of my stories is that Latvia couldn't receive packages from Cartier. And I bought my wife a kind of engagement ring from Cartier, and my loving city was Vilnius, because at Vilnius you could send from Cartier, but in Riga you couldn't. Now you can, but back then 6 years ago you couldn't. So I had like this. I was traveling to Vilnius like 6 times because I didn't know the size, and it was changing, and then because you cannot send it, so it's so weird. And one guy came to me, which is interesting, a lawyer, that one person from Riga took a package to Vilnius, a package. He didn't know what is inside. And he is in prison for 7 months already, and still in prison because the package might be some sort of relationship to an explosion in an aircraft. In a package from Riga, Vilnius. So it's very interesting. But he drew it with a car, and he didn't even know what it is inside. Imagine this guy. He's like, we had a podcast with him like 2 weeks ago. He was telling this story. It's like insane story. Imagine that, right? Some guy gives you a package and you have in prison because of that. Crazy.
And to add more about like motivation, etc., it's to doing business and to creating something, and not just about the money. It's about creating what value you can create in that industry where you work. So, for example, in Lithuania, 4 years ago, we started a PropTech association, PropTech Lithuania. And now we have in that PropTech association 60 different members, the biggest real estate development companies and
like
startups.
Like a club?
It's like an association.
Okay.
Association, but and each year we will, for example, 11th of November, we will be launching a conference, big conference, and from Copenhagen coming architects and different from different countries, different quite interesting speakers is coming. So our vision to more involved from all Baltic states, from Nordics, to cooperate together, how we can create more startups, how we can build more unicorns, because we should be small countries with very big ambitions.
Right? Yeah. Because and I know some entrepreneurs say that this this saying, I guess there's a big saying, playing ground for testing and seeing, and then you need to like go out there and not stay in the little pond.
Fake it until you make it. And it's
Deividas, thank you for coming from Lithuania. It was a good, pleasant conversation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for invitation. So I invite you to visit Vilnius.
Of course, we have we need to, we have a plan there. Yeah, thank you. Cool. Nice.